Everyone has their favorite monkey, but sometimes their favorite monkey has an upgrade path that you never really choose. For me, this Necromancer unpopped army has always seemed really cool, but I never really get to use it all that much. And that's why we're going to change things today. So this time we're going to go with a map that suits him quite well, and I'm going to be playing on easy because I want to have a lot of these towers. My setup's going to be basically the same as it was for the Fireball Monkeys. I'm going to put as many of these down as I can, as well as a bunch of farms, and just kind of go from there. The more I have, the better. I can afford Benjamin. He's going to go up there where he can't hurt any balloons, because we're just doing the pops with all these monkeys. These first 2 rounds are not going to really have all that much, but by the time we get some money and towers built up, we're going to have quite the army. I'm going to have an undead army so large we can invade a small country with it. We'll get this monkey down here, we'll start upgrading this bottom path for him. I don't really think it's going to do too much until we're able to get the army going, but since balloons are starting to make their way through a little bit more, and this one's going to get through entirely, we're going to actually just upgrade these a little bit extra. It can't hurt, right? And after that round, we are able to afford the very first unpopped army for the Necromancer. That should be pretty useful, so he's going to start building up some death. The more we kill, the more balloons that we're going to raise, and the more balloons we're going to kill from that. Essentially, it's unlimited balloons at this point, so let's see what we can do with them. And the purple ones come through, they start to get chewed up by all these other ones, so the purple ones are usually immune to all the magic effects, except for these ones here. So I think I just found a use that the Necromancer has that the Pyromages can't do. And that makes me want to get more of them. Also, last time when I was getting these farms going, I just did all the greater production and stuff like that. I'm going to go with the marketplace this time because I'm lazy and I just want to have the money. I don't want to have to actually work for it. Even though the lead balloons are coming through, they're still be able to get popped by this guy, which is very good, so he can basically pop just about anything that comes by. I was a little bit nervous thinking that we might have to get the fireball upgrades for him, which we'll probably get later, but right now, I just want to keep it to these bottom upgrades. I think we're due another Necromancer, so let's get this, and just like that, we have a second one now. That means double the balloons for our army. And if you notice, these balloons are going to be covering over this entire track, and just crisscrossing over each other. By the time I fill up this entire map with these Necromancers, we're just going to have balloons going every single way, crossing over each other, and it's going to get pretty chaotic. I'm looking forward to that. Let's get this guy, because why not? Now we got 3 Necromancers. And before the Moab shows up, let's just get one more, because you can never be too prepared for those. In fact, I'm going to get 2 more. Here it comes, it's not looking too good, it's hitting all those. And again, I keep forgetting I'm playing on easy difficulty, but we need to keep going. We have a lot more to do. Well, the MOAB was able to get by pretty far, but we only have 5 of these. I think it's time to fill up the map a whole lot more. Great thing about all these upgrades is, for a tier 4 upgrade, it's actually pretty inexpensive. So I can get a whole bunch of these things and pretty much get to the point where I can get 1 or 2 every single round. So we have a whole bunch of balloons coming in, but every single time we pop them, this number gets bigger, and we're able to use that number to make more balloons. So this one has 0, but he's a brand new tower. This guy's at 400, 200 here. They're really not running out of stuff to pop. In fact, these ones at the bottom haven't even really had the chance to pop anything yet. It's all the ones at the top here that are really getting all the action. But that's okay. Eventually, stuff will be making its way soon enough. We have a bunch of MOABs coming through here. They kind of just get popped and give me money, which is nice. I don't really have to deal with any of the stuff after them. But it's starting to look a little bit nervous because they're getting awfully close. Yeah, that one got a little bit too close. Seems to me like we need more towers. 4 more Necromancers should have this corner covered pretty well, but I think it's about time that we upgrade one of these Necromancers to the Prince of Darkness. And this wizard here has had the most pop so far, so there's no better candidate. Not only is the Prince of Darkness going to have the ability to pop more, but he also upgrades all the other Necromancers, so it's basically an upgrade for every single thing that's on the field. Now he can just sit on his throne there, collect a bunch of pops, and we've even started recruiting some of the MOABs and BFBs into our army. I feel like those do more damage. I don't know how much more, but they must. In fact, that MOAB just got destroyed on the first turn. Yeah, it's not going to really go too well for him. I still want more balloons, though. We can always get more. Here comes the final round for medium, so we have the BFB coming in. I want to see just how quickly we can take this thing out. Yeah, that's more like what I'm talking about. Those poor purple balloons think they're going to be safe, but they are not. None of them are safe. The cool part is that these towers don't actually need the monkey villages to help them out. They basically just get the whole job done themselves. In fact, if I decided not to have Benjamin here, I could probably make this entire game work with nothing but the necromancers and the farms. And the farms are earning me a lot of money. I'm really enjoying them. Yeah, this is the one time in the game when you're actually really enjoying seeing a lot of balloons on the screen. And now we just sit back and let the money roll in for a while. I don't think we have too much to worry about. That earned me a whole lot of money very fast, and a whole bunch of balloons just got popped in this area here. I really still couldn't even see them through my army. I can even get this upgrade now. So now I just sit back and earn all the money in the world, and I'm going to be using that to just buy even more and more necromancers. I could spend all this money on the round right before we get to the ZOMG, but I kind of want to see what this army does to the ZOMG on its own. Okay, round 80 is here, and I just got over $30,000 for that round just starting. The farms are paying for, I think, about 2 or 3 necromancers now each round. And that ZOMG is not looking too good. It's starting to hit some of those bigger balloons, but it's actually making its way through it kind of dangerously well. If my necromancer army wanted to have more balloons kind of hit it, that would be wonderful. I'm starting to realize there's a small flaw in my design, but we're going to keep at it. Here it comes to the other train of balloons. It's going to hit it and get destroyed. Any second now. There we go. Don't worry, we prepared for this. Just hit these things with more blimps. We're kind of out of all of our ammunition. This might not work out the way that I thought it would. Starting to think it might not work. That's okay, we prepared for this. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen, and now we're gonna actually use some of this money. That was a test to see if we can pass. Clearly we did not. The balloons were laughing at us, but we're gonna get the final laugh here. Most of these necromancers don't actually have the ability to summon anything from the dead yet, but I think we've got enough, it's not gonna matter. It's time for a rematch. Let's take this thing out. But luckily he has, well, basically nothing here. If he could have saved that for a second, it would have been really useful. That's okay, we're here for the long run. Well, it certainly took its time to get popped, but I think now we're going to start an effect that's going to absolutely destroy everything that comes its way. Because the more we pop, the more we're going to pop. Here come the balloons. Wonderful! And they were able to make it work, just by the end. The balloons had their one chance. That was their only chance. And now, they have no more. Just popping a few ceramics there have just multiplied all the balloons in this corner here by a whole bunch. That leads to more ceramics, which leads to basically unlimited balloons. I think it's time to show these balloons who's really in charge. Here comes some more ZOMGs, but this time we're a little bit more prepared. We have the corpses of the balloons on our side, and they're certainly lasting. Well, they're not lasting nearly as long now, are they? That one's already destroyed by the time it gets to the second turn. This one's going to follow closely behind it. More MOABs coming in, but they've been destroyed. Now we can use those corpses to power the death of this next one. And the cycle continues. I am enjoying the results, but I feel like they could be even better still. We could upgrade these monkeys to have different paths. They're all just the bottom 4 after all. Except for this guy, he's 5, because he's better. But at this point, we've dug our grave and we're going to stay in it. Much like the graves that these things are going to be resurrected in. Just takes one little pop, but once it finally happens, the rest of these balloons just start springing into action, and things just really escalate. It's all about getting that first one, though. That's the biggest issue. Our army has been depleted, but this thing's almost blown up, so hopefully it'll blow up right now. And that can start our cascade again. Balloon reinforcements are finally here. We could use them quite a bit, actually. And try as they might, they're not able to get through. Here comes the cavalry. And that ZOMG, which is looking oh so healthy, is suddenly not looking very healthy anymore. This really is an interesting build. It's a weird mix of being insanely overpowered and not overpowered at all at different points. This time the ZOMGs are getting pretty destroyed. It's nice when you have an army just already ready. Something that's popping them nice and early, we can get them in this first turn. If not, we kind of have to wait for the entire track for them to start getting popped. DDT is coming up next. I think it's time for us to fill in the small gaps here. Prepare yourself, viewer. This is my necromancer army. And this is my necromancer army's army. That was incredibly devastating. Yes, balloons, keep sending the tiny ones. That's doing a great job for you. As long as we could just get these guys to have a nice head start, that way they can be prepared for all the big balloons that are coming along, they should be able to handle all these little ones just fine. The BAD is going to be an issue, but hopefully by then we'll be prepared for it. Rise, my balloons, rise. Fight your former selves. I don't think I've ever had an easier time defeating DDTs either. Those things are getting destroyed. We have a whole bunch of purple balloons that just came in, but luckily the tier 5 necromancer is able to take them out just fine. And that just opens the way for more balloons to start appearing, and just popping more and more and more. The DDTs are barely able to get past the first turn. Same can be said for the fortified MOABs. The more balloons they send to us, the stronger we become. There's no stopping us now. Look at how congested these paths get. They're so full of balloons that I think that the game can't even load all the enemy balloons. I probably have more balloons on my screen now than most rounds actually send out by the end of it. We do get a nice little challenge here with some fortified ZOMGs. These did give quite a challenge for me earlier. And they're starting to deplete all the balloon resources that we had to begin with. So let's see what happens here. This could be a little interesting. There goes the first one. Hopefully we could get a few more in a couple seconds. The nice thing is we have a lot more necromancers this time around, so they're getting shot by a whole lot more. There goes that. Starting to get those. Destroy the MOABs. Come on, you can do it. Faster. No, we were so close. I don't think it's possible to beat round 100 with nothing but necromancers. Now we could call it there, but let's throw a little bit more money down. And this time, let's get some extra upgrades. Well, I ran out of money before I could actually finish upgrading everything, but we got this kind of fun pattern here. This little group of them needs to still be upgraded a little bit further, but let's just see if we can beat this round first, shall we? At least we have some pretty fire to look at. That's kind of cool. So we do have a more literal case of increased firepower here. Hopefully that's going to be enough to kind of turn the tides. This stuff here isn't really all that upgraded. By the time these start moving up and a little bit further in, they're going to start getting hit with a lot more devastating types of damage. They are looking significantly worse from wear, and we haven't even had the army of balloons try and take them out yet. So already that thing's been destroyed. They're not looking very good. Turns out upgrades with other upgrades are even more upgraded than the original upgrades. I think the Necromancer army is once again resurrected. So having all these different mixed types of attacks seem to have definitely increased our popping ability, and our Bloon army is even more happy for that. I'd like to upgrade this little corner of stuff here before round 100, so let's finish off this round, and we will see if we can upgrade every single thing from there. Fortified DDTs coming in. That's cute. Okay, we got $14,000. Let's see what we can do with it. Much closer this time. Let's see how this handles it now. This will be the ultimate test of both endurance and damage for our lovely towers here. Will these balloons be able to put out enough damage to take out this giant thing? Already it's looking pretty okay. This is the key point in the battle when we actually have a full-size army to take it out. If it's able to get by much more, then we're going to have some issues. Our main balloons have been thinned out, but now we're going to be hitting him with the necromancer's couple of last ones. The damage isn't looking horrible. If we can just get a couple more going its way. It's on its last legs. We'll have a DDT or two to take care of, but I think we'll be able to handle it. Uh-oh. Okay. I think it's impossible. Despite my many attempts and my many resurrections, I just don't think it's going to be possible this time. Maybe if I had this full army done here, maybe if we had a few extra balloons, but round 100 might just be a little bit too much for our poor little necromancer army. But that doesn't mean I'm going to not try and collect even more of them. I mean, I might want a couple more of these in the future. 2 nice wizard monkeys, huh? That gives me an idea for the future.